In this video, I'm going to walk you through a full tutorial on how to use Google Scholar and how to get the most out of it with its different features and advanced search options. Before I dive completely into how to use Google Scholar, if you are working on trying to figure out what papers to read, I don't want to show you how to use it and then make you feel like you have to read the hundreds of papers that come up in it. So, first, download my 30-day research jumpstart guide. It walks you through how to figure out which papers to read and develop ideas while reading those papers. It'll be available completely for free in the link in the description below. So, now let's jump into how to use Google Scholar. When you come to Google Scholar, you have a similar field to whenever you would go to a general Google search. You have a search bar that you can put information in, you can select articles or case law, and then it has some recommended articles, especially if you've had previous searches on Google Scholar's platform. For me, it's going to be recommending a lot of mass spectrometry, ion mobility, and metabolomics type articles. So for here, we want to be able to search on Google Scholar for what we want. So if I was just doing a generic search, one of the things I tend to do is steroids and ion mobility. That was my main field of study in my doctorate program. And so what you can see is it's going to pull up a lot of your articles that relate to those keywords. Now, importantly, the keywords that you actually searched are going to be in bold here. So you can see this has steroid analysis by mobility. And what you'll see is you're going to start getting less and less bold as you go down. So right now there's a lot more of these than when did this research. So they're going to still be bold down here, but by the time you get to the 10th page, you see that you're only having, one or two words that are bold. So Google Scholar is going to rank these or sort these based off relevancy. So it's going to show you the ones that are the most relevant first, and then show you those that are less relevant. So they might be only relevant to one or two of the keywords that you've supplied as you go later on. So you can change this. Here it says sort by relevance. You can have it sort by the date. And so what that will do is it'll pull up something that might not be as relevant. So in this case, you can see that this has IMMS, but it doesn't have my ion mobility or my steroids in the actual title. But it was published in 2022. So this allows you to be able to look at the most recent articles. If you want to do that, all you need to do is change this over here to sort by date. I'm going to head back to sort by relevance for the rest of this though. So then we have a couple other things you can do over here. If you don't want to sort by date, so you want it kept sort by relevance, but you only want the newest articles out, you can choose a time frame up here. So you can say since 2022. That will keep it sorted by relevance, but it will only give you the articles that have actually come out in 2022 here. And you can also add your own custom range. So if I was going to do 2016 to 2017, which was when I got started in grad school, I can now have this custom range so that I'm not seeing my papers appear in here. My papers didn't come out till 2018. So if I jump back to any time, another option that Google Scholar gives us is the ability to do any type, which means research articles, communications, review articles, opinions, all of those, or we can specifically only look for review articles. So you can see now that these are reviews. And so if you are first getting started in your research, I recommend that you look for review articles to read first. It's going to be the fastest way to get the most amount of information for your research project and then move on to research articles after that. This is a way to quickly be able to get the review articles that you might want to read for your given topic. And then finally, what's available on this page is a create alert. And so from this, you can create an alert that will send it to your email for whatever your keywords are. So you can include less relevant results, and it will send you an email of when they get in new articles that match your keywords. You will get an email to get an alert for that. So that's how to set up your alerts. All right, so from that, the next thing I want to show you is what's happening on each of these individual articles here. So at the top, you're going to have the title of the article, then the authors to the left-hand side, the journal it was published in, the year it was published, and then the publisher. This is coming from a extension that I have plugged in. And then on the right-hand side, you're going to be able to see if Google Scholar found a PDF or HTML link to this text. So if I open this up in a new tab, you can see that I can access the article through here. And this is showing me my like manuscript copy, probably because it is not an open access article. So it might be difficult to actually access. So that is what you're going to see on your first and second row. And then it's going to pull a snippet from the article that most matches your keywords. So this is usually going to come from the abstract, but can come from other places. And it's basically to give you an idea of what that article is actually about. And then we have a couple buttons down here. So this one is going to save it to your library. So up here it says my library, and that's where you can access your saved articles. And so you can save it to your library and you can create a new. So I can create steroid and ion mobility and click done and add it to my library. And I can add this one as well. I'm going to switch it back to any type. So I can add all of these to my library. Now, if I go to my library and I'll open it up in a new tab, you can see that this is showing all of my articles, the ones that I just saved, and then I can go to this one specifically to be able to see it. So if you want to just have things easy access for the future, you can hit that save button real quick. So then as we're moving from left to right, you have this cite feature. And if you click on it, it's going to give you some of the most common formats for citing. So if you just wanted to quickly cite this, you can just click on it, hit copy, and paste it into your document. Or you can download a bit text. That is one way to be able to upload it into Zotero if you wanted to. You can download the EndNote version if you want to upload it into EndNote. And then they also have a RefMan and a RefWorks format as well to be able to cite it. So that's how to easily pull your citations in. You also have related articles. So if I click on this, it's going to pull up those articles that are related to it. Usually it's ones that are being cited by that paper. And so you can easily find those other articles in there as well. And then you can see the different versions of this article. So you can see one was published by Nebraska, where I got my PhD, Elsevier, and then they were published on different sites after that as well. If you needed to look for a specific type of version, that is one way to do it. And then you can import into BibText. So that is what you can do from the basics of it. You can save to your library, cite it, look at different citations, get a PDF, link to it. So this main title here will give you a link to it, and you can filter and sort your results. So now I want to talk about advanced search. So if we sum up to these dots here, or even if we just go back to scholar.google.com, come up to these three bars here, you have this thing called advanced search. And what this lets you do is get really, really specific with what you want to actually search. These first four fields here are about the keywords for your article. They're about what should be included and what shouldn't be included. And so you can say with all the words, so I can say steroid, ion mobility. So it needs to have all of these words. And if we did that search, you're going to see that it has that up here. And so it's looking for all of those words. So that would be just like if you had just typed it into it as like steroid and ion mobility. Now, what if I wanted it to have steroid, but I wanted ion mobility to be an exact phrase? So instead of it being able to find ion in a separate place, I want it to find ion mobility. So if I did that search, you can see it's now put ion mobility in quotations. And so if you didn't want to actually open up the advanced search panel, but you wanted to search an exact phrase, another example in my world is also liquid chromatography. I don't want it to search liquid or chromatography. I want it to search this full phrase. So when I search that now, you can see it's pulling up liquid chromatography, and not just simply liquid or chromatography or ion or mobility. So that is what that is showing. So I'm going to come back to my advanced search. So then you can also look for at least one of the words. So if I put in steroid, testosterone, estrogen, and then I'm going to look for the exact phrase ion mobility. So I want to look for ion mobility and then any of these options. So now I can search that. So this is going to add in the keyword or here to say that it can look for any of these. And so now I can look for something if someone's specifically talking about testosterone, which is a steroid. I'm giving it more options for it to be able to search. This is just basic Boolean logic. So you can see here, even though it doesn't say steroid in the title, because it says testosterone in the title, it's still coming up as a relevant term. So if you're like not finding things that you're looking for, start searching potential other terms that they could be using. You can do that using either the Boolean or in the advanced search using the at least one of the words. And now I can search without the words. So I'm going to search without the words liquid chromatography because oftentimes a lot of these things will have LC as a component of it. So I'm going to search without those words. And so now it's only going to bring me up things that are only in eye mobility without talking about liquid chromatography at all. If someone is talking about liquid chromatography in the abstract or in the introduction, but it's not a main portion of their study, I may still want to get those articles to appear. So one way to do that is to go into advanced search and say where my articles occur and say only in the title of the article. So I want it to say I am mobility in the title. I want it to say one of these in the title, and I don't want it to say this in the title. So now when we search that, we see that we're getting some of those other ones back up that weren't specifically talking about liquid chromatography in the title. And so this is a way that we're not limiting our results because someone mentioned it as a background information in their introduction. The last three options in the advanced search is talking about first, who was the article authored by, where was the article published in, and then the dates. And you can also customize this once you've searched with how I showed you before with that custom date range. So if I only wanted to see my own articles, I can put my name in here and I'm going to hit search. And now you can see that three of my articles show up here. And you can see over here how to do this if you just want to write it out is author colon and then the name. And then if I wanted to see just where were the articles published, so if I only wanted to see articles that were published in like the Journal for the American Society of Mass Spectrometry, I can plug that in here and then hit search. And that's going to give me this one that was published in that article. And I can also set that date range here, or finally, I can also set that date range while I am searching. So if I only wanted them from, let's say the max I was going to do was 2017. So I only wanted things from before 2017 and I hit search. I'm only seeing those that were published before 2017 because none of mine are in there. And then you can see that also appears here. So you can always change it to any time after you've searched as well. And if you're looking for more ways to organize this literature and be able to summarize it quickly, check out this playlist above with all of my different videos on how to organize and find literature. Before you dive into reading all of it, make sure you're downloading that 30-day research jumpstart guide to get you started in actually being able to create your projects and collect data within 30 days of starting. I hope this video was helpful and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.